Sup everybody. Something I touched on in my last video, the rant about Wai Kru etiquette. I wanted to go a little step further with the whole Wai Kru Muay, the need for it, I suppose, in Muay Thai. One, if you're competing in Muay Thai, but you don't perform minimum Wai Kru, so sealing the ring, doing 3 bows. If you're not doing that, then you're not really doing Muay Thai. It is actually an important part of the sport. The art, I should say. It's not really a sport, it's an art. It is a traditional martial art with a long history. Nothing you're doing is new. If you think you're doing something new in Muay Thai, trust me, it's been tried and it's been tested and it doesn't work. If you think it's new and you haven't seen it before. Back to the subject at hand. Really important for trainers to teach Wai Kru Ram Muay, to understand it, to know why they're doing it. Promoters need to allow it. Otherwise, is it really a Muay Thai show? No, it's not. I understand people think about the time restraints and whatever, but the sealing of the ring doesn't take very long at all anyway, and 3 bows is like another 10 seconds on top of that. Later on, I think all pros should be doing full Wai Kru Ram Muay, no questions asked. If you're not, as I said, you're not really competing in Muay Thai, you're doing something else. But when promoters say, oh, we don't have time for it, or I think it's more of a load of shit, and it's more the fact that they're trying to cater to the crowd wanting to see a punch on over a cultured art. In that case, promoters should be promoting a different fight sport. Kickboxing, whatever. It's not a lesser sport. It's a different form. It's a totally different form to Muay Thai, and it doesn't have that 3,000 year history or whatever that Muay Thai has, and doesn't have the deep cultural ingrainment, I think the word would be. I don't know. Go off and do those sports. If you're competing in Muay Thai but you don't perform these important acts, Wai Kru, Ram Muay, then you're not competing in Muay Thai, full stop. If your trainer doesn't know the Ram Muay, then your trainer isn't teaching Muay Thai. Your trainer doesn't understand Muay Thai. And it's usually the same thing that I've said a million times about people not fighting Muay Thai style. Literally, if gyms aren't fighting a Muay Thai style, usually they don't know a Wai Kru Ram Muay either. So they all go hand in hand. They're an important part of the sport. They're showing respect to the history of the sport as well. As I said, you're not doing anything new. You're doing something that's been done for many moons. So get out there and learn it. If anyone wants to contact me, I can teach you a nice basic one for your gym to use. If I like you, I'll teach you something special. Otherwise, get online, learn something. Teach your guys, make it an important part of your curriculum for your fighters to learn as part of moving into the fighter group of your gym. If you're not teaching it, if they don't know any of it, then there's a fair chance you don't either. So really important. I really want to see more and more people taking the important parts of the culture that go along with Muay Thai. I'm not talking about Thai culture, I'm talking about Muay Thai culture. As I said in the last video, people wear a monk to the ring because they have to. It should be the same with the Wai Kru Shouldn't be, oh, it's up to me. If you fight under Muay Thai Australia, I think WBC is the same as well. You have to wear a mongkon to the ring. It's not just a tennis racket around your head. It has a long history, has a long story behind it, and if you're wearing it, then you should be doing the rest of the sport as well that goes along with it. As I said, contact me. Like, honestly, I'm open to help people. I want this sport to grow, this art to grow. I want people to understand it. I want people to do it correctly so people can see Muay Thai in its full beauty. Educating the crowds, making the crowds have to sit through a runway every time. People start to understand what's going on. Whereas right now, promoters just go, oh, it takes too long, we're not going to bother. And then the people just sit there, and you hear people in the crowd going, oh, I could be sinking piss during this. Oh, what a waste of time. Oh, come on, this is taking way too long. But once people start seeing it on every show, then all of a sudden they start to have their favourite runway or their favourite fighter because of the certain things he does when he does his runway or whatever it happens to be. It needs to be a big part of Muay Thai shows. So we went through the etiquette in the last video. Obviously nothing's changed there, except a lot of people contact me about asking about cameramen and stuff. I understand that promotions need to have their camera people and their like the photographers and the videographers and stuff, and there are ways around it with like separate little stages off to the edge of the ring and that sort of stuff. But I understand it's all money and people like to see up close and personal. But aside from promotion team people that have to be there, it's fighters and ref. That's it. Trainers, get the fuck on the ground or on the stairs or whatever. Because right then it's a spiritual time. But yeah, so everyone, get out there and learn a runway. I'm more than willing to help people. If I get enough interest, I'll do a thing here where everyone comes down. Each gym, I can give them a little. If they don't understand it, or I can do a video, whatever. If they don't have one, I can give them something and make it a little bit personal for each gym or whatever. But yeah, please everyone, let's start doing Muay Thai as a whole. It's not just a punch on. That's the least of it. There's so much more to it and a huge history. So get your reading glasses on and start reading up on stuff as well. Start learning more about the art. It's not just a punch on. It's far from it, actually. I love this art and we need to make it grow as an art, not as a punch on. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Once again, comments and messages are all welcome. I love to talk about it. So yeah, thanks a lot everyone for listening in, and I'll get on to another one soon. Peace.